I would like to fight with Islam, that's for sure. I would like to fight him.
But if they don't give you that fight, if they give you like a #1 contender fight, when would you like to fight next?
I wouldn't fight for a #1 contender fight. No.
You only want to fight for the title?
Yeah, of course. Me against Islam. Once I pass him, I get the title, and you put me against Paddy, because I think that he's gonna.
Do you think Paddy's gonna beat Justin Gaethje?
Easy.
Wow. Easy. Really easy?
Yeah, easy.
Really easy?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a crazy thing to say, because Justin Gaethje's a fucking animal.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to grapple, and Paddy knows that.
But he's a Division I wrestler.
Khabib Nurmagomedov poured cold water on the idea of Ilia Topuria moving up to challenge Islam Makhachev. According to the former lightweight king, Makhachev has already granted opportunities to Alexander Volkanovski, who also jumped weight classes, and there's little justification to repeat that approach so soon. Instead, Khabib believes Topuria should test himself against a legitimate lightweight contender.
I think if he move up and he beat somebody like Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira, he's next. Why not? Because there is nobody.
At 155 pounds.
Without fighting in 155? Without? No, I don't agree. Because Islam already give chance. And people talk bad about, like, oh, he fight 2 times with Volkanovski. But the UFC pushed this fight. And this fight was good in first fight. But why Islam have to give 3 times chance for 145 champion? Why? It's not fair for 155.
Agreeing with Khabib, Islam Makhachev shut down talk of a potential clash with Topuria, arguing that critics would likely dismiss a victory over the featherweight champion. Citing his experience with Volkanovski, Makhachev pointed out that those wins were downplayed due to perceived size advantages. He believes a similar narrative would follow about with Topuria, making the matchup unworthy from a legacy perspective.
Not make sense give the chance 3rd time from the some guy who come. If I beat, I beat the Volkanovski twice. People still say you beat small guy. Yeah. He's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be the same. Everybody gonna talk same. But if I go up, takes a 2nd belt, this is a legacy.
Adding to the speculations, Daniel Cormier expressed intrigue over the growing buzz surrounding the yet-to-be-announced fight, noting that the amount of attention it's generating is unusual for a bout that hasn't even been officially signed. Cormier believes the anticipation alone made waves, and if the fight gets announced, it could be a massive moment for the sport.
Guys, you know what else is not slowing down? The Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev talk. Look, there has been, since Ilia vacated his championship, Islam doesn't want to fight him. Islam said he's not fighting him. Topuria saying he has a title fight. Topuria saying he was promised a title fight. There has been so much that has come with a fight that hasn't been signed, that hasn't been announced, that if announced would be tremendous, but it hasn't. There's so much to this fight.
Moreover, Cormier weighed in on Khabib's recent comments, emphasizing that when Khabib speaks publicly, it's never for hype. According to Cormier, Khabib is straightforward and doesn't engage in posturing. If he says something, it reflects his true thoughts. Cormier added that Khabib and his team don't operate with attempts to raise the price of a fight through media games.
Khabib is about as straight a shooter as you're ever going to find. I'm telling you, when he's mad at me, he tells me. When he's mad at someone else, he tells you. He doesn't hide. Khabib doesn't not speak truthfully to you, right? So when you hear him say things publicly, take it as fact. This isn't him posturing. This isn't these guys trying to raise the price on a fight or anything. This is a true emotion, a true feeling, because honestly, that's just how these guys operate, right?
Building on that perspective, Daniel Cormier broke down the mindset of Khabib and Islam's team, explaining that after their victories over Volkanovski, they feel a fight with Ilia Topuria wouldn't be worthwhile.
I believe that in those interactions, the response was why he's more opposed to, if that's the case. It sounds more now like it's not worth it. I believe the response to those fights is why they feel it's not worth it. Because in those fights, you had a guy in Volk who's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, unquestioned. He beat him, and he did not get the respect or the love that might have been anticipated, right?
Contrasting that view, Joe Rogan believes Ilia Topuria is the only compelling opponent left for Islam Makhachev at lightweight, arguing that Makhachev has already cleaned out the division. Rogan dismissed the idea of Arman Tsarukyan earning a title shot, echoing Dana White's stance that Arman has to build himself back up in time to challenge for the belt.
I understand. That makes sense to me. Look, also, it's the most marketable fight. Everybody else has lost to him. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'd say world title fight, but I don't get to make the rules. And then the other thing is there's not really a compelling challenger at 155 other than you. If you look at it, like he's kind of cleaned out the division. There's no one else. I mean, Arman's got to build himself back up.
Yeah.
He's not going to get a title shot.
However, offering a different take, Khabib believes a more competitive matchup for Islam would be against Arman Tsarukyan, citing Tsarukyan's skill and potential. While Khabib acknowledges that Ilia Topuria has proven himself in the 145-pound division, he feels the Georgian has yet to establish his worth at lightweight, making him an uncertain challenge for Makhachev at this time.
Мое личное мнение, не то чтобы там опасен, скажем так, более конкурентен. Я думаю, что Царукян. Я думаю, Арман посерьезнее боец, чем Топурия. Топурия хороший боец в 66, а в 70 мы его не видели. Я считаю, что Арман более конкурентоспособный для Ислама, чем Topuria.
Expanding on that skepticism, Nurmagomedov questioned the UFC's arrangements with Ilia Topuria, stating he's unsure of the details. He pointed out that Makhachev had already given 2 chances to the 145-pound champion, Volkanovski, and if Makhachev beats Topuria only for him to lose to someone else in the lightweight division, it would mean Makhachev gave a shot to an unproven fighter at 155.
Не, смотрите, ребята, я не знаю просто, какие договоренности были у Топурии с UFC. Просто если смотреть со стороны Ислама, Ислам уже 2 раза давал шанс чемпиону в 66. Оба раза Ислам выиграл. Сейчас 3-й раз ему давать. Хорошо, представим, Топурия переходит, перешел и дерется сразу за пояс. Ислам его выиграл. Потом Топурия дерется еще один бой. Он еще раз проигрывает. То есть он вообще никем не был в 155, и Ислам выиграл человека, который никем не был в 155. В 70 килограмм.
On the other side, Topuria isn't backing down. He insists he's earned the chance. Ilia made it clear he has no interest in a #1 contender fight if the UFC doesn't grant him a title shot against Islam Makhachev. He stated he doesn't care if Islam chooses not to fight him. He'll wait as long as it takes, insisting that Makhachev can't avoid him forever.
I would like to fight with Islam, that's for sure. I would like to fight him.
But if they don't give you that fight, if they give you like a #1 contender fight, when would you like to fight next?
I wouldn't fight for a #1 contender
really?
fight. No.
You only want to fight for the title?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
I don't care if Islam decides that he doesn't want to fight me. I don't care. I said till you're gonna have to fight me. Okay? You say that you are the world champion, you're gonna keep dominating the division, all that. I'm here. You can't keep avoiding me all the time.
Reinforcing his stance, Ilia presented a valid argument that they gave the same kind of opportunities to other fighters, so he does not see why he shouldn't be getting it. He added, if they give that chance to everyone, why? Why not me? They gave it to Henry Cejudo, they gave it to Conor McGregor, they gave it to George St. Pierre, they gave it to John, they gave it to everyone, and I proved that I deserved that shot. Doubling down on his confidence, Ilia Topuria proposed matching Justin Gaethje with Paddy Pimblett, while positioning himself for a title shot against Islam Makhachev. Confident in his own path, Ilia stated that once he gets past Islam, he'd want to face Paddy next, believing Pimblett would easily defeat Gaethje.
Justin Gaethje against Paddy Pimblett. Me against Islam. Once I pass him, I get the title, and you put me against Paddy, because I think that he's gonna.
You think Paddy's gonna beat Justin Gaethje?
Easy.
Wow, really easy?
Yeah, easy.
Really easy?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, offering a more measured perspective, Volkanovski believes Ilia Topuria would face a tough test against Islam Makhachev, noting Islam's defensive style and tendency to play it safe. He expects Topuria to keep pressing, but warns the later rounds could be grueling, though if Ilia lands clean, it's lights out for anyone.
Can Ilia catch him? And he's stoic till that happens, you know what I mean? He is on task and he doesn't, you know what I mean? He'll go, even if things aren't working, he's still going to try and find it. So I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him, because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know he needs to play it safe with Ilia because he knows Ilia's going to have that puncher's chance. Them later rounds, you know, it's going to be very difficult for Ilia. Ilia can, if he puts hands on anyone, like if he traps them, you know, gets them where they don't want to be and lands a nice big shot, it's going to be game over. You know, I mean, he can knock out anyone, even in the lightweight division. I felt it firsthand. Like, well, I didn't feel, actually, I don't remember it. But
in a similar vein, Charles Oliveira praised Ilia Topuria as a tough, confident fighter who talks the talk and walks the walk, saying he understands why Ilia wants to challenge top names. However, Oliveira warned him to be cautious, emphasizing that lightweight is an extremely tough division filled with dangerous, highly skilled opponents.
Ilia is a tough fighter, someone who talks the talk and walks the walk. He's doing things, and I can see why he would want to challenge people, and I think a lot of people, he would be obviously a tough fight, and I think that what happens is a lot of fighters, whenever they get a belt and they wrap that, they have that belt wrapped around their waist, they start thinking up and down in the divisions and you want to challenge things. But I think you have to be very careful when you're coming up to lightweight, because this is tough. This is a very tough division. But at any rate, I think he's a very tough and very dangerous guy.
Israel Adesanya's coach, Eugene Berriman, expressed his support for Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, stating that it's Makhachev's job as champion to face whoever the UFC puts in front of him, regardless of which division the challenger is coming up from.
You're a champion, you just fight whoever they put in front of you. Like, doesn't matter if it's a featherweight or a flyweight, you know? Like, your job is the UFC lines them up, you knock them down, that's your job. Like, whether it doesn't matter what the weight division that comes from, you know. And on it, you know, you mentioned all those names, but what's the name that everybody wants? What's the biggest, like, what's the biggest by a country mile out of all those names? What sticks out the most? What do people want to see the most? Yeah, it's Topuria.
Shifting to the technical side, Michael Chandler shared his thoughts on the potential matchup, pointing out the clear size difference, with Islam being a big, well-rounded lightweight. Still, he sees Topuria having the edge in striking and praised his patience, saying it would make for an exciting night if the fight takes place.
There's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time.
Building on that analysis, Chandler predicted that Islam would likely come out on top, citing his size advantage and the tougher strength of schedule. However, he made it clear he wouldn't count Ilia out, acknowledging the featherweight champ's striking and composure as serious factors.
I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far, and defending the belt, but I wouldn't count Ilia out.
As Khabib and Makhachev both insist that Topuria earn his stripes at 155 first, his quest for the lightweight title remains unresolved. Until a fight is formally announced, the division holds its breath, primed for the moment the octagon finally erupts. So has Khabib made the right call by urging Topuria to earn his stripes first? Or is the Georgian ready to shake up the lightweight division? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit like if you enjoyed this breakdown, and subscribe, because when the octagon doors finally open, you won't want to miss a single moment.